So how did you get into acting?
I liked watching TV, and so I was drawn to everything that I watched, but maybe that's just me being a normal kid. And I've always been interested in acting, but one of my really close friends from Las Vegas, where I used to live, was an actress since she was like, what, 5 years old? And she had taken acting classes there, and she was like, you know what, you should come with me sometime. I think you'd like it. It's fun.
Yeah.
And it wasn't like a career thing or anything. I just wanted to try the class. So I showed up and ended up absolutely loving every moment of it. And from there, just kept showing up to classes and wanting to get deeper and deeper into it, and just ended up being here.
So what's your favorite part about the craft?
All of it. I love every part of this process, from the getting the audition to reviewing the script to getting callbacks to booking the job and being able to perform in front of an audience, even that just being the crew. But I like getting to tell other people's stories.
Definitely. What was your first big project that you booked?
Andy Mac was my first big project. I did a couple of guest star episodes on that, and that was a blast. I watched the show when I was younger. I think it was like 13 when it started coming on.
How old are you now? Like 20?
I'm 17.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
College? Wow, it's so young.
I know.
And I started college at 17 too, but
I'm actually in my second year of college. After sophomore year, I tested out so I could have a more flexible schedule with college and acting and stuff.
That's awesome. So of course we're here today to talk about UpsideDown Magic. What was your audition process like for that project?
Quick. I got the original audition in like late July, I'd say, or like early July, something like that. And I only had 2 auditions. I had the original audition, and then I went straight to producer session.
Oh, wow.
Where there was only a few girls, but the first audition, I've been into Suzanne and Tyler before, and they're really easy to work with, but I remember them telling me, like, if you don't book this, just know that it's just because of your age. So I remember leaving like, that's never happened before. So I knew I'd probably get a producer session, but I didn't know if I'd book the job or not. And when I booked it, I was on vacation. So
oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Where were you when you found out?
I was in Santa Cruz whale watching.
Oh, that's very specific.
Yeah, I was on a boat and away from my parents. My manager called me and was like, "You booked the job." And I remember jumping up, screaming, running to my parents. People thought the boat was sinking. So it was an experience, but it was awesome.
It's a funny story. So how would you describe your character, Chandra?
Maniacal, twisted little girl, but she's really smart and definitely does everything she can to get what she wants out of someone. And I think the biggest adjective I've gotten when other people were describing me, her character after watching, was manipulative. And I think that's a great way to describe it, because she uses her intelligence and manipulation skills to get people on her side. Yeah.
It could be like a good and bad thing too.
Yeah, it can.
Have you ever played like a character similar to that?
In acting classes and stuff, absolutely. But that's the first job that I booked that I got to play that, and it was a blast.
That's awesome. What was it like on set for you?
It depended. So I'm legal 18, which basically means I can work the hours of an 18-year-old. So while I was the oldest one of the castmates, so when they pumpkined or had to leave set because of their work hours, I was able to stay there as long as they needed me to work. So I was usually there for like late hours in the night while I had to use stand-ins and stuff like that. So it was more end of the night type of work days, showing up, getting crafty, stuff like that.
Is this like your first project where you've been doing that?
This is my second project as Legal 18. The first one was super duper fun to film, but we were filming from like 5 p.m. to like 6:30 in the morning.
Wow.
And it was hard.
That sounds like a very interesting experience as well.
It was.
So from the movie, what was your favorite scene that you filmed?
The last manipulation scene where the camera's spinning around us and there's a whole bunch of wind blowing in our hair, and I'm really getting her on my side. But I'd say the most fun scene was probably the one right before that, when she's, all the flares are going and she's telling her that she's way better than all of them and stuff like that, because there was a wedding going on at the same time. And it was just a really funny experience trying to watch like the crew get everybody under wraps and make the wedding out of shot, and all of the bachelorettes out of the shot.
That's a funny story.
Yeah.
And you've been with the Disney family for a while now. You mentioned you were on Andy Mack. What has that experience been like for you?
Disney is such a fantastic company to work for, and I think every kid at some point looks up to the actors and wants to, be part of that family. And the fact that I got that opportunity is just insane. And they really do treat their actors and their employees so well. Like, I couldn't ask to be a part of a better company.
For sure. I used to be a cast member at Disney World, so
Really?
my experience. I did the college program a few years ago.
Oh, that's awesome. I've seen a whole bunch about that. Looks really fun.
It was like the best time ever. I would recommend doing it if you ever get the chance to.
I would love to.
And then for you being on Andy Mack, what was it like being such like a part of like such an iconic show that like I guess broke grounds in some areas?
It was great. I mean, it was a really progressive show for Disney, which I really appreciated. And I think a lot of kids also appreciated seeing something like themselves on the screen that they are so used to watching. So to be a part, just a small puzzle piece of like that huge picture painting was so cool. And to say that I was a part of it is so cool.
Definitely, it must be such an honor to say. Did you have any other like favorite Disney Channel shows that you watched growing up?
I was a huge fan of Wizards of Waverly Place when I was growing up. I think that ties into the whole Upside Down Magic wizarding world thing. I think I always really liked the magic portion of Disney Channel. But I definitely looked up to Selena Gomez and Alex. So
Definitely. Did you like watch a show for character study? How did you get into the mindset of Chandra?
weirdly enough, a character, as soon as I read the script for my audition, I got Prudence from Sabrina the Teenage Witch. And that type of character who's more manipulative and threatening rather than really scary was something that I wanted to take on, and I think it had a lot of inspiration for how I played it.
Definitely. Do you have any dream roles that you want to pursue in the future?
So many. It flip-flops so often. Like, I really want to be in an action movie because I did karate for 9 years of my life, so that was a huge portion of my growing up, and I think I could definitely use that to my advantage. But oppositely, I would love to play a Disney princess, which is total opposite, but either Jasmine or Belle would be really cool.
That would be great. And do you usually play like a certain kind of character? Like you mentioned, like kind of like wizarding from Upside Down Magic. Are there any like roles that you mostly like audition for?
I play damaged a lot, which is really fun, and I feel like I've gotten fairly good at it. But I'm lucky to say that I haven't been necessarily typecast in any type of auditions or shows or jobs. I've gotten to play a really expansive variety of roles, which is really fun for me.
That's great. I need to work on my like entertainment vocabulary. You said typecast, and I was like, oh, like that's what I was saying basically.
Yeah, because if someone's like typecast, they're really just like girl next door all the time, or like
that could be really limiting. I feel
definitely, and it happens a lot.
That's sad. I see you being very like diverse with like your characters. That would be great for you moving forward.
Thank you. I really from the beginning was like I want to play all sorts of characters and different people and tell a whole bunch of different stories, like I was saying earlier. And getting all of those in your back pocket is like really, really important, really cool.
For sure, definitely. Upside Down Magic has received like a lot of fan reaction to the film. What has your personal experience been like with the fans, maybe on social media or just anything you've read anywhere?
It's been great. I know that like just meeting other people, my friends, little siblings, or just people I've met out in public, all really love the movie, which has made me very happy, and I'm glad that they learned something from it. All of them seem to have had a positive reaction towards it, and I like seeing the people on my Instagram just like, I love the movie, I love Chandra, she's such a great character. So it's definitely been a positive experience as far as hearing the reactions.
Definitely. Have you been on social media a lot during the quarantine? What have you been doing to stay healthy and stay full inside mostly?
I've tried to be off my phone as much as possible because I know before that I was on my phone constantly. So I've been trying my best to stay off of it and only be on when it's necessary, or to text my friends or to communicate, because, being social is really important right now. But other than that, I've just recently taken on sewing because I really, really like fashion. So that's something that I've been trying to do. Because I think a lot of people are trying to take on new things to keep the time passing.
And do you have any other projects fans can look forward to for you, like moving forward?
I have a movie called Let Us In coming out fairly soon, I'm hoping, which also has Sienna Agdon in it.
Oh, okay.
So I got to work with her again. but I think that is a thriller horror coming out sometime by the end of this year.
That sounds exciting. Maybe
It
I'll
is
have to
good.
watch it. I usually like steer away from like horror films. I'm like scared of them and stuff, but I'll have to watch it if you're in it.
It's a good one. It's not too horror-esque, more thriller action type of thing. So I think you'd probably like it.
I'll probably be okay then. And
Yeah,
let's shout out like your social media accounts where fans can stay connected with you.
absolutely. My Instagram and my Twitter are just like my name, Yasmeen Fletcher, Yasmeen Fletcher, and then my Snapchat is Mina_Fletcher.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much for chatting with me today. It was a pleasure
Of
speaking with you.
course. Thank you for reaching out.